It's only worked as it was on Acheron is the problem, because that means maps like Acheron can no longer be used. So, of course, it is on... If there was actually a balance issue, which is not necessarily true depending on how the players played. I think if there's a game mechanic that negates the usage of certain types of maps, I think that's broken. I think that needs to be changed. But I'm not necessarily sure that's true, though. So, of course, Acheron, one of the easiest maps to just turtle up on, but Locusts don't really have regen for the most part. Like, they die before they regen a noticeable amount of HP. Also, if you nerf their damage, I don't know. I never played that style, so... I just kind of force myself to play something that won't be... I'm not a player who's gonna sit there for like an hour and just wait for like the game to end. Get kind of active on it. Sure, that loses me some games where I could just be sitting back turtling, but I kind of refuse to play that most of the time. So I've only in only like 2 or 3 games ever since Heart of the Swarm came out, I found myself like turtling with Swarm Host, Spore Crawler, like Viper Infester. Two-base all-in as Zerg? Well, then you'll lose because it's really easy to deal with. Just make a few Colossi and catch them at a good angle. Competent Protoss should be able to deal with that pretty easily. Unless, of course, they don't scout it. If Swarm Hosts show up at your door and you don't know he's going Swarm Host, then that's more on you than it is on the balance of Swarm Hosts, so... Alright, gonna be going for the Scouting Zealot after I get my second gas here to see what he's up to. Most importantly, I'm making sure I have constant pro production now. Oh, he's going for the Zealot pressure as well. But he's chrono boosting it. I can just go for a Stalker after this and deal with it in the same way. The question is he looking for my probe, or is he looking for, to do the same thing I'm doing, which is scouting? If he's looking for my probe, then he's not going to see my Stargate if I make it early. And he also did not scout with his first probe. He did not have a probe in my base at any point in this game, so that's kind of important to note. I'm going to get the Stalker out and out on the field so I can micro against this and potentially kill it before it sees the Stargate. Ideally. I don't think that's going to happen, though, if he sends the Zealot directly across the map, but we'll see. Stargate on the way. Of course, a Mothership Core would deal with it, but that's not really how this works, so... Gonna have this Stalker in position. And Mothership Core is coming out after this. That's where I'm gonna save my Chrono Boost past this. My Chrono Boost past this for Stargate, though. Oh, 1, 2 Stalkers. Okay, this is definitely... early pressure. But I did force him back across the map. That's very important. Gate. 3 gate pressure. I kind of want to go... Void Ray first? Yeah, I think I have to go Void Ray first here. To hold this cleanly, that is. I'm just gonna Chrono Boost out Warp Gate, you know. Canceling a probe, because a probe is not going to be helpful here. The Void Ray is most important. Make sure I don't get supply blots. I'll make an Oracle when I want to do... Actually, I'll just make a Pylon so I can counterattack. Obviously, 2 Stalkers is not going to hold this clean. I probably could have gone for an Oracle, to be honest, but... Chrono Boosting out the Stargate, so I can just charge up and wreck these guys. He's gonna put the pressure. He's coming up the ramp in a second. I would be extremely surprised if he didn't, but it looks like he might actually not. I mean, he knows I saw the 3 gates. He could have easily canceled some of them. I do have a mothership core ready. Expand? Not an expand. This is blink? I could have not seen a fucking Twilight Council with my first zealot. This could easily be blink too. Oh, phoenixes. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm just gonna hide my oracle. And you know what? Can I go phoenix from here? He has one phoenix and he's going for +1. I think I just go for Twilight Council. I don't think I continue down this Void Ray route, or the Stargate route at all. Once he has a Phoenix lead on me, there's not too much of a point continuing down the Stargate route most of the time. Just gonna hide my Oracle in the back, ready to do damage, but he's not expanding yet, so I'm not gonna expand yet. I'm heavier on the tech, which means I have more gas invested in tech, which means I don't want to expand earlier because I'll be spread thin. Too thin, mind you. Once I confirm his phoenixes are across the field, I haven't confirmed his units are across the field though, that's the difference. Just gonna block his Expo for as long as possible. I have my Oracle in position in the most least likely to be scouted place. Just going for the +1 Blink Stalkers. And I got the Forge for cannons and +1 to even up the upgrades, ideally. No expansion. I'm not going to have detection. Well, I have the oracles, and I'm going to have a cannon. Never mind, I have detection. That was a dumb comment. Huh. Let's see if this is my opportunity to move in. Well, that is not how you control your phoenixes efficiently. He just lost pretty much every single phoenix. He was distracted by the oracle is what happened there. Thanks for explaining it. I already knew what was happening, but now I can bring my mothership core across the map without too much worry. I'm gonna have Blink in a second. I can also use the Void Ray as high ground vision, and he's not gonna have his expansion finish, so these are all working pretty heavily in my favor. Get my upgrades up. Fail fields. I want to just straight up force the cancel. That's my that's what I'm looking for with this engage. Oh, I didn't have another pylon coming up. You know what? This is just to pull him out of position a little bit. Where's my Blink? This is actually pretty efficient against this. Surprisingly so. Did I just lose everything there? That was surprisingly efficient against my army. I'm just gonna try to keep the pressure on here, but I don't know if I can do so. I am actually surprised that did so well, but I'm just gonna keep up my upgrades, try to keep up my production. I no longer have a mothership core, so he can just pick up. Remember though, if he picks up probes, and I should have a decent chunk of probes on him, at least. Not maybe too big of an advantage, but it's possible. If he picks up probes, those are lifts he can't use for stalkers, and he just uses all his lifts for my stalkers, so I still have blink stalkers, and he still has nothing that hard counters blink stalkers, so. And he's already gone for his Expo, but and now blink stalkers start to become more and more cost efficient. He's starting to run out of lifts here, and I took out his Void Ray, which is very important. Just keep the pressure on as the shields regenerate. And I have 5 gates now. That should be about as many as I can support with the upgrades consistently spinning. Gonna go in for another snipe here. I can't let that Void Ray count get over 2. Targeting down what I can, but now he's running out of steam here. Just gonna take out as many probes as I can. But that should be it. This is more what I expected to happen the first time around. When I first went for the attack, but it took a little bit longer for it to follow through. Is this DTs? I still have a cannon. I can just win the game here, is the plan. Trying to kill all of his probes and just dodge the DTs then. I'll go for DTs myself. He has no way of detecting them. And that should finish it. Bring these guys across.